Counting on alum Jill Duggar Dillard is known for her years of estrangement from her parents. She and Durick left the show and stepped away from their beliefs. Jill was deemed the rebellious daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle. But she later wrote a book featuring shocking stories about the family, especially about his dad and their church. However, Jill caught the attention of many after reuniting with her dad. Keep reading to see what happened. Counting on Jill Duggar's relationship with Jim Bob Duggar. Jill's relationship with Jim Bob has made many people curious over the years. A lot of fans think things got worse between them when Jill released a book exposing the questionable teachings of the IBLP. The Counting on alum also brought up Jim Bob's alleged lies about the family's TV earnings, which could put him in trouble with the IRS. Jill also claimed that her father threatened to cut them off inheritance if they talked negatively about him and their mother online. But despite all the rumored feud, many were surprised when Jill and Jim Bob reunited for a special day. Jill reunites with Jim Bob amid strained relationship. James Duggar recently took to Instagram to share photos from the family's Christmas party at the big house. It's been an annual tradition for the Duggar kids to gather at their parents' house. But this year's get-together was more special after James shared a glimpse of Jill and Durick talking to Jim Bob. Many counting on were curious about what they were talking about, but it's clear that the tensions were slowly fading between them, especially considering that they were all sitting on one couch amid the party. Here are some of the comments James received. So glad to see Jill and Durick there. Love seeing Jill and Durick talking to your dad. Merry Christmas. Hope one day you do a Duggar Christmas special. I am so glad to see y'all together. Thanks for sharing the beautiful pics. Merry Christmas. Counting on Jill Duggar shares relationship update with Jim Bob and Michelle. Jill Duggar Dillard's reunion with Jim Bob comes after her recent IG Stories Q&A, during which she shared updates about her status with her parents. According to the Counting on alum, their relationships are still complicated, but she feels that they're in a rebuilding process. She continued, "We try to hang out whenever it works well and we have the bandwidth to navigate things." For years, the Duggar family has captured the fascination of the public with their large brood, unique values, and strict religious practices. Among them, Jill Duggar Dillard's journey has stood out as one of transformation, independence, and self-discovery. Once a central figure on 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting On, Jill has since distanced herself from her family's reality TV fame and some of their conservative principles. Her strained relationship with her father, Jim Bob Duggar, has been well documented, with Jill openly discussing the challenges of navigating boundaries and control within a family as tightly knit, and sometimes constricting, as the Duggars. But now, after years of tension and public estrangement, Jill Duggar has reunited with her father, Jim Bob, in what many are calling a pivotal moment in the ongoing saga of the Duggar family, a history of conflict. The tension between Jill and Jim Bob became evident in 2017 when she and her husband Durick Dillard chose to leave Counting On. The decision, Jill revealed in her memoir Counting the Cost, was rooted in a lack of autonomy and financial transparency. Jill and Durick claimed they were never compensated fairly for their participation in the show, which was managed by Jim Bob. They also expressed frustration over the control Jim Bob allegedly exerted over their personal lives, including their family planning decisions and career moves. These revelations shocked fans, who had grown accustomed to the image of a united Duggar family. Jill, once one of the most obedient daughters, was stepping into a new role, that of a woman determined to prioritize her own family and well-being over expectations. The conflict escalated when Jill and Durick publicly disclosed that they had limited contact with Jim Bob and Michelle. Jill admitted to setting boundaries, which included no longer attending every family event and refusing to submit to the patriarchal authority that had defined her upbringing. The path to reconciliation. Reconciliation between Jill and Jim Bob seemed like a distant possibility for years. Both sides maintained their positions, with Jill focusing on healing and Jim Bob remaining steadfast in his role as the family's leader. However, recent developments suggest that time, reflection, and perhaps the hope of mending familial bonds have brought them to a crossroads. Sources close to the family revealed that Jill had been contemplating reaching out to her father for some time. Her decision, they say, was influenced by her growing understanding of forgiveness, not as a way to excuse past behavior, but as a means to find peace. Additionally, the birth of Jill's third child may have served as a catalyst. Becoming a mother again reminded Jill of the importance of family. Even in its imperfection on Jim Bob's end, there had been whispers of softening. While he has remained largely silent about the rift, those familiar with the Duggar patriarch suggest he has struggled with the estrangement. Despite his firm convictions, Jim Bob is known to value family unity above all else, and the idea of losing a relationship with one of his children has likely weighed heavily on him. The reunion. The reunion took place at the Duggar family home in Arkansas, a place Jill once called her sanctuary, but later avoided due to the painful memories it held. According to insiders, the meeting was arranged discreetly to ensure privacy and minimize the pressure on both parties. Jill reportedly approached the reunion with cautious optimism. She wanted to express her feelings honestly while remaining open to hearing her father's perspective. Jim Bob, for his part, was described as being more reserved but willing to engage in dialogue. Their conversation was said to be a mix of vulnerability and tension. Jill shared how certain decisions and dynamics had impacted her, particularly her departure from Counting On and the subsequent fallout. She emphasized her desire to establish boundaries not out of rebellion, but out of a need for independence and emotional health. Jim Bob, while steadfast in his beliefs, reportedly acknowledged some of Jill's grievances. He expressed regret over the breakdown in their relationship and admitted that he may not have handled certain situations as well as he could have. It was a small but significant step for a man often viewed as immovable in his convictions. The role of faith. Faith played a central role in their reconciliation efforts. Despite their differences, Jill and Jim Bob share a deep belief in forgiveness and redemption. Their conversation was reportedly punctuated by prayers, scripture, and an appeal to find common ground through their shared faith. Jill later told a close friend that while the reunion did not resolve all their issues, it felt like a step in the right direction. "It's not about pretending everything is fine," she said. "It's about starting to build a bridge where there was once only a wall." Family reactions. The reunion has sparked mixed reactions among the Duggar siblings. Some, like Jessa and Jana, are said to be thrilled at the prospect of healing within the family. Others remain skeptical, unsure if the wounds can truly be healed or if old patterns will resurface. Jill's husband, Derek, has been particularly protective of her throughout this process. While he supports Jill's desire to reconnect with her father, he has emphasized the importance of ensuring their boundaries remain intact. "This isn't about going back to the way things were," he reportedly told a friend. "It's about moving forward in a healthier way, a new chapter." For fans of the Duggar family, the reunion between Jill and Jim Bob represents a significant turning point. It's a reminder that even the most strained relationships can begin to heal with time, effort, and mutual respect. Jill's journey is far from over. She continues to navigate the complexities of her upbringing, her role as a mother, and her efforts to carve out a life that reflects her values rather than those imposed upon her. Similarly, Jim Bob faces the challenge of adapting to a family dynamic that is no longer centered on his authority alone. Ultimately, this reunion is not about erasing the past, but about acknowledging it and finding a way to move forward. Whether it leads to a full reconciliation or simply a more peaceful coexistence remains to be seen. For now, it stands as a testament to the power of vulnerability, forgiveness, and the enduring bond of family. As Jill and Jim Bob begin this tentative new chapter, they remind us all that growth often comes from the most uncomfortable and challenging places. And while their journey may not be perfect, it is undeniably theirs. A story of love, resilience, and the complicated beauty of family. If you are looking for more Duggar family news, subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for all your updates.